everyone, it's Ashley, and today I'm going to be filming my comic bookshelf tour. So for those of you who don't know what this means, basically I'm just going to pull each book out and show you the cover and the title and the author so you guys can see what my collection looks like right now. And some people do describe each book. I am not going to do that because I think that's going to make the video a little bit too long. However, I will leave links to descriptions of each individual comic in the description box down below. So let's get started! Okay, so here is my comic book shelf in its entirety. I will go through each individual book for you guys so you guys can see the front covers and the way that I have organized it. So first we are going to go with all of the Marvel comics that I have. So we'll start with Ultimate Spider-Man, Power and Responsibility. This is actually where I recommend starting your Spider-Man reading if you are a person who is one of the people who will constantly ask me where to start Spider-Man. This isn't necessarily where you have to start, but it is a very solid start, and you can actually find these now in almost any comic book shop, the Ultimate Spider-Mans, and they are labeled on the side with 1, 2, 3. It's very easy to read, and it follows a very continuous plotline, so easy for new Spider-Man readers. The second one that I have here is Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 2, Learning Curve. This follows the same plotline as the one I previously showed you. It's just number 2. And these actually go up to, I think, like 20. I just don't own them all. But yeah, very, very good solid start. Next, we have The Amazing Spider-Man New Ways to Die. This is by Slott Ramada Jr., who is one of my favorites in the comic business. Wade and Granov. So this is actually... I haven't read this yet. I've been kind of waiting to read it, but I've heard amazing things about it, and I love the cover. Like, just all the Peter Parker. If you guys don't know me very well, you will soon find out that my obsession with Spider-Man runs pretty deep. The next one I have is The Amazing Spider-Man Matters of Life and Death. If you are a comic book reader, you know that there are a lot of Matters of Life and Death comics, as well as Death in the Family comics if you're a DC person. So this is by Slott, Van Lent, Cassielli, Ramos, and Martin. If I butcher any of these names, I'm very, very sorry. But the cover of this is actually really, really beautiful. It's hard to see because I still have it in the packaging. So clearly I haven't read this yet, but the packaging is just so beautiful, and I don't want to take it out of the packaging because I'm a nerd. Next, we have Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. Carnage is one of the worst Spider-Man villains in Spider-Man history, in my opinion. Carnage is kind of like the equivalent of the Joker, but nonetheless, this cover really depicts what Carnage is capable of doing with all of its reds and yellows. And this is by DeFalco, DeMatteis, Kavanaugh, Michelini, Bagley, Buscema, Lim, Lyle, and Saviuk. This is a collection of a bunch of Spider-Man Carnage comics, so it's a much thicker comic than a lot of the other ones, but I'm slowly going through this one. I'm not reading it all at once because it would just be too much. And there's a really nice graphic for you guys of Venom, who you guys might know if you watched the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans with, oh my goodness, Tobey Maguire. Spider-Man and Carnage is right there. Next, we have The Amazing Spider-Man The Gauntlet, Juggernaut. Juggernaut is another Spider-Man villain. He's a lesser-known villain, for those of you who don't follow Spider-Man a lot. I actually got this for Christmas from my Secret Santa, and it's the Marvel Premiere Edition, which I'm so excited about. I don't even want to open it. And this is by Van Lent, Stern, Gaydos, and Weeks. And this is actually volume 4 in the Spider-Man Juggernaut series, so I think what I might do is buy volume 1, 2, 3 before I read this. You don't have to, but I think I probably will. And next we have Superior Carnage, which is Superior Spider-Man and Carnage. And I'm not going to explain what Superior Spider-Man is to you guys because I don't want to ruin it, but Superior Spider-Man is definitely a different version of Spider-Man than Amazing Spider-Man or Ultimate Spider-Man, for those of you who do not know. And this is by Shinik, Segovia, and Mexia. Now we're moving on to Deadpool comics. Deadpool is amazing for those of you who don't know him. This is Deadpool vs. Carnage, which actually follows the same plot line as Superior Carnage, so you should read them together. And this is by Bun, Espen, and Jacinto. and it is about Deadpool versus Carnage. The title's pretty self-explanatory. Next, we have the new Marvel Now Deadpools Volume 1 and 2. Volume 1 is Dead Presidents, Volume 2 is Soul Hunter. They are amazing, very well illustrated, very well written. Highly, highly recommend them both. And they're an excellent way to start reading Deadpool. If you do not really know anything about Deadpool, I would highly recommend them. Next, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. This is by Bendis and McNiven and Pincelli. This is the new Marvel Now version, so it's a really easy way to start reading Guardians of the Galaxy. And if you're a person who saw the movie and loved it, this actually is not the exact same as the movie, so I would highly recommend trying to read the comic because it is a bit of a different plotline. Next, we have Miss Marvel. I absolutely love this cover so much. I have not read this yet. I bought it because BookTube was pretty much all over it. It's by Wilson and Alfonia, and it is titled Miss Marvel No Normal, and I'm really excited to get into it. Actually, right on the front it says, "This might be the most important comic published in 2014, so I should really get to this soon." Next, we have Wolverine Noir. This is by Stuart Moore and C.P. Smith. For those of you who have never read the Noir comics, they're really good. They come in a lot of different like almost every superhero has their own Noir, and I would just highly recommend them. As you can see, the cover is just gorgeous. So I will definitely let you guys know when I get to this one. Next, we move on to our Vertigo comics. So we'll start with Why the Last Man. This is by Brian K. Vaughan, who wrote Saga, for those of you who don't know. Pia Guerrero and Jose Marzan Jr. Butchering that. This is a very well-known comic at this point. Everybody talks about it. I have not read it, but I bought it around Christmas time, so I'm excited to get to this one. Next, we have the Unwritten Volume 1. This is by Mike Carey and Peter Gross, and as book lovers, you can probably tell that the cover of this is intriguing enough without even knowing the plot. And Brad actually got me this for Christmas, so we'll see what it's like. Next, we have Sandman Volume 1 and 2. Preludes and Nocturnes is Volume 1, and The Doll's House is Volume 2. This is by Neil Gaiman. That is probably all you need to know that you should probably try reading this. I actually bought it simply because it was by Neil Gaiman, and I love Neil Gaiman. And the covers are kind of creepy, but wonderful all at the same time. And as much as these comics are done by Vertigo, Sandman is actually a DC superhero villain. He's a gray superhero villain, so I never know what to call those. I just call them gray supers personally, but gray superheroes is a good descriptor too. Next, we have the Books of Magic by Neil Gaiman. This was actually given to me by a viewer last summer, and I cannot thank them enough. It is a hardcover, it is beautiful, and in all honesty, it's like Neil Gaiman did Harry Potter. It's so good. Highly recommend. And this is by Neil Gaiman, and then Bolton, Vess, Hampton, and Johnson were pencilers and illustrators and such. Next, we have Batman Noel. This is a Batman comic that takes place, obviously, during Christmas time, and it is dark and gory and everything you would expect from a Batman comic, and it is by Bermejo, and that looks like that's the only person it's by. I feel like the colorist has to be someone else, but I don't know who it is because it's not on the front cover. Next, we have Batman R.I.P. by Grant Morrison and Tony S. Daniel. This, and also by Floria, Garbett, and Scott. I believe those are the colorists. This is Brad's all-time favorite Batman comic, so that is actually why I have it. I haven't read it yet, but I don't know, the cover intrigues me. I like the colors, and Brad loved it, so that's pretty much good enough for me. Next, we have just a DC Entertainment Essentials. This actually isn't a graphic novel. I got it for free from my comic book shop. It just tells you the order that you should read things in, and not to read certain comics before others because they might spoil things, etc., etc. And it's super useful. I have found it super useful, actually. Next, we have The Flash Volume 1, Move Forward. This is part of the New 52. So as you can see in the top there, it says New 52. The New 52 takes off after Flashpoint, which is why I actually haven't read most of the New 52 comics yet, because I'm waiting for Flashpoint to come in. I have it ordered. And it basically starts each superhero off from scratch. So as a new reader, you can actually start with just this comic and move forward and just know everything about the plot line. So yeah, and also The Flash is wonderful, and the TV show just came out, which is kind of why I got very intrigued. Next, we have Teen Titans Volume 1, It's Alright to Fight. This is by Lobdell, Booth, and Ruppmund, and it is wonderful. I read it this summer. I really, really liked it. It involves Robin, who is one of my favorite DC heroes actually, but you don't find enough about him. I actually want to start buying the Nightwing comics for that reason, but nevertheless, very, very exciting, and I will hopefully be getting Volume 2 soon. Next, we have Watchmen. This is by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. Some of you might know the movie The Watchmen. This is kind of like a literary graphic. It has a lot of writing as well as graphics, but it is wonderful, and the cover is just so bright and vibrant. And I believe this was the first comic book that ever won the Hugo Award, so that's exciting. Next, we have Kick-Ass. This is by Mark Miller and John Romita Jr. Sorry about the lighting, guys. My lights are being weird. Earlier I mentioned that I love John Romita Jr. This is why. Kick-Ass is amazing, so well illustrated, and if you read it and it feels Spider-Man-y, it's because Romita does a lot of Spider-Man comics, but it's really, really good. Love the cover, love everything about it, highly, highly recommend. Next, we have all of the sagas. Saga Volume 1, Saga Volume 2, Saga Volume 3, and Saga Volume 4. For those of you who haven't read Saga yet, I don't know what you're doing with your lives. It is amazing. The writing is phenomenal. The illustrations are phenomenal. I love it all. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Next, we have The Wicked and the Divine, the Faust Act. This is by McKelvin and Cowles. This was a mind trip. It was just an amazing graphic novel. It's an Image comic. I love it. I love the cover. I love the inside. I just love it all. Next, we have Deadly Class by Remender, Craig, and Lowridge. I actually bought this off a recommendation from the Readables, and it looks insane. I'm really, really excited to get started, and I really like the inside. Like, they do this really cool coloration thing where every page has like a color hue, and yeah, just really, really, really excited to start that one. Next, we have Sex Criminals by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. This is one of the coolest plot lines in a comic that I have read recently. It could have been orchestrated a bit better, I think, but the plot line itself was just so cool. I am so excited to continue with this series. And the last Image comic I have is Morning Glories by Spencer Aizma and Esquijo. This is Volume 1. I just started this actually, and I am really, really liking it. And this is actually another one that I picked up off of a recommendation from the Readables. And next we have all the Scott Pilgrims. I'll just show you one of them. I actually have them all, as you can see there. They are one of my all-time favorite series in general, let alone comic series. I absolutely love them. If you have not read these yet, please, please, please pick them up. Next, we have my one and only manga, Attack on Titan. I actually got this from Random House. I haven't read it yet, but I am excited to get started because I have heard nothing but good things about this. And then we have Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley. This was an amazing read. I love Brian Lee O'Malley's writing style and drawing style. I just love everything about Brian Lee O'Malley. If you have not read his stuff, please, please, please do. And then all I have left for you guys is all of my issues, so I'll quickly go through them. This is the annual Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1. Then I have the 75th anniversary celebration of Spider-Man. And then I have the Spider-Verse Volume 1. This is just 6 sensational stories from the Spider-Verse. This is Peter Parker. This is actually Volume 2 in the Secret Life of Spider-Man series. This is Spider-Man and the X-Men Volume 1. This is a new ongoing series that comes out once a month every month. I highly recommend it. I freaking loved this. Next we have The Wolverines. This is a new weekly series that came out about a week and a half ago. This is issue 1. I've been saying volume, I actually mean issue. And then last I have The Road to Civil War, The Amazing Spider-Man. This is actually an old comic that Brad had that I stole from him because I loved it. So those are all the issues that I have. I will be getting a lot more issues in the future. I've become obsessed with actually purchasing issues. Before I end this video, I just want to tell you guys about something really, really exciting. There is going to be a new comic book series coming out called Spider-Gwen, where the superhero in an alternate universe was actually Gwen Stacy and not Peter Parker, because she actually got bit by the radioactive spider, and I'm just like, my mind is blown. I'm so excited about this. It comes out on February 25th, so please get excited about that. And otherwise, I posted a picture to Instagram recently about this lipstick. I call it my Felicity lipstick because it reminds me of Felicity from Arrow. And some people asked me what lipstick it was, so I will leave a link to it in the in the description box down below in case you want to look into it. I love it a lot. So that is my comic bookshelf tour. If you are interested in any of these, or if you've read any of them, comment down below and let me know. And if you like this and want to see more shelf tours from me, let me know. And other than that, get excited about Spider-Gwen, because it is probably one of the most exciting things that is going to be happening in my life in the near future. I am so excited. February 25th cannot come soon enough. And I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye!